Here's my real important things about meetings that really work for me. Number one, have an agenda, stick to it. And if you publish the agenda, you're going to have to stick to it. That's kind of opposite than what I do in practices, where people say, post your practice. I never post my practice. Why? Because I may have to change in the middle of practice. That drill was crappy, I have to do it again. Whereas a meeting, I want to stick to what I have on my meeting. So a handout of agenda, stick to it. Start and end on time. I'm a big stickler on time. And when you hear people say time is money, time isn't money. You can always make money, you can't make time. And so everybody that's worked with me or my teams, my staffs know that I'm a big, hey, you got to be early for me, so I kind of, that's one of the things that I do. So did I start too early, by the way? No. Good, okay. I'm just looking, was I off a little bit? Anyway. The other is you should have either handouts or Google Docs. And the last thing I want to say about you can't make team meetings a group therapy session. So I'm going to give you a little story. I was interviewing at Oregon State, actually. And who took me out to lunch one-on-one was the team sports psychologist. And she said, I can't wait till you come here. I heard you have a degree in sports psychology. What I do is I meet with the team twice a week for 2 hours each time about their problems. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. If I get this job, I don't want you involved with the team. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't want to be meeting and talking about group problems. That's one of the worst things you can do, especially in college. So 2 of you are freshmen, right? We come in, we're talking, and said, Betty has a problem with Sue. Well, you didn't even know that Betty and Sue have a problem. Now, why do Sue and Betty have a problem? You are not a therapist as a coach. And even, when the sports psychology becomes just group dynamics or how do you deal with grouping issues or whatever, my thing in solving issues on a team is simple. Whether it's the national team, college, if I coached high school, I'd say the same thing. You have an issue, bring it up to that person. Now, in high school, it may be a little bit different because they're younger, but in college, if you can't resolve the issue, talk to the team captain. If she can't resolve the issue, get me or my staff involved, okay? But I think what happens is confrontation is tougher, and and again, this is not a female versus male, but there are different dynamics in females that are very positive. Females make a better, strong team because they really care about relationships much more than guys. Whenever I hear people say to me, coaching men and women is the same, it is not the same. Because guys are very, more hierarchical. They don't really care about team as much as women do. And you got to understand that even in team meetings, even in the way you approach things. Now, I'm generalizing. Like on the national team, there's a lot of alphas, so just be careful about sharing things that are becoming social issues on your team or whatever, all right?